Welcome to In the Zoom Where It Happens with our hosts, Shannon Spees and Brandon Krekel.
Hi, I'm Shannon Spees.
And I'm Brandon Krekel. And today we're super excited to have a longtime member of the Chamber, Jim Wadella. He's a managing member and founder of Core Catalyst. Jim, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us, and we won't waste any time. We'll just jump right into the first question, and that's a pretty easy one. So tell us a little bit about yourself and Core Catalyst and how you came about.
Okay, sure. So Jim Wadella, and so I started Core Catalyst back in 2011. It is in a management consulting, which is always hard to describe for people. I can never tell my mom always, what do you do for your living? But consulting is basically helping clients with lots of different complex situations that they have, and I can give examples. But so basically, we've got a team of about 35 people here, some international, and we're helping clients with some issues that they may be having. Maybe they're launching a new product or service, so we're helping them with that. As a matter of fact, the room next door, they're doing that. Could be program and project management type things for people. We also have a couple of other offerings. One's called Executive on Demand, where we're placing part-time executives in client situations. And then finally, we have a kind of a staffing type of a thing or talent type of thing where people just need good, strong, solid folks in their organizations, maybe for a short time period type of a deal. And so been in Kansas City for 20 some years with my family and call it home now. We've lived in many different cities. But have loved it here and have got two daughters, one in town and one in Denver. Both of them are working and very proud of what they've been doing. So,
Love that. Glad you're in Kansas City. Where were you from before? Where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, originally Ohio, Dayton, Ohio. And then my wife and I, when we first married, lived in Detroit, Michigan for several years, and then Dallas, Texas for multiple years before coming to Kansas City.
Awesome. Now is Dayton, is that Brown country or is that Bengal? I know Shannon over here is a Browns fan, so I had to ask.
Yeah. Well, but when I was there, either one weren't very good. So, but Bengals probably closer to where we were. So.
That's fair. Well, thanks for that. I'm curious about, you mentioned some of the, maybe you'd give some examples on some of the maybe organizations in Kansas City that you've been with. Any notable ones, any of your maybe favorite, and maybe not favorites because you can't pick favorites, I guess, but some exciting ones you've worked with.
Yeah, I tell you, there's multiple ones. And so I think one example is KCATA, the Area Transit Authority. So they run our buses, as you likely know. And so we helped them a couple years ago with just analyzing the business and giving them ideas for improvements to the business. And that could be an increasing revenue for them or being more efficient on the expense side type of a deal. And that's one where their CEO, Robbie Mackinnon, is a very strong supporter for us in what we did there. But fun thing where we're coming in there, we're interviewing their people, key people. We're looking at all their financials and all their operational things that they're doing. And we're comparing and benchmarking them against other transportation authorities across the U.S. type of deal, and coming up with some good ideas for them, giving them a playbook on how to implement those things, and then helping them with that too, project management, and helping with the tracking of those things. So that's one example. Other ones we've done for big companies and small companies in this market. Obviously, we have a lot of mid-sized companies here, but those could be things like helping them launch a new product and service offering. Some of these we have to be a little careful from a confidentiality standpoint, but you would know the names of these companies. Well, where they're launching a new product or market or a service offering to the marketplace, well, they need to know how to do that. What are the right steps? Sometimes they need staffing to help support that type of a deal. And those are pretty exciting ones for us. We help some smaller companies. There's one called Life Science Technologies here in town. And they've got some unique software that's used in the healthcare space. So they provide remote patient monitoring for companies across the U.S. And so that's when we're helping them put together business model, financial models for other offerings that they want to tag onto that and add to that type thing. So pretty exciting work for us to do, but we're putting together pretty detailed financial models, things that board of directors and potential investors will look at and use for decisions on helping those companies.
And I noticed on your website, one of your offerings was executives on demand. And I would assume that that would really help with those small to mid-sized companies that you're working with.
Yes, it is. Thanks for asking. So I think what I've noticed in this market and building for many years is there's a lot of talent in the marketplace that maybe they've early retired, or maybe they don't want to work full time, but still want to contribute back to companies. And so we've done a pretty good job of interviewing and vetting and understanding those people and how they operate, and then culling it down to a pool of pretty talented folks that can come in and operate inside of a company. That could be temporary CFO, it could be a temporary COO. We've done CMOs, chief marketing officers, and other roles for companies where people will be very comfortable working 2 days a week, for example, or maybe a 3-month stint to fix something or help in a merger and acquisition or some area like that. So it's very conducive, and to companies that maybe can't afford someone full time or only need them for a short period of time or a measured period of time. So very good use of talent in this marketplace. We want to work like that.
Yeah, and you mentioned some higher level executives, right? And I know you've been a part of our executive recognition breakfast, and so you kind of get that higher level networking. How important has your network been to you as you kind of place these executives?
Right, it's huge, and so being a member of the chamber for years has just been phenomenal from that standpoint. So I think, especially on the executive on demand type of a thing, consulting too, for that matter, you have to be at the right place at the right time to help clients. They have pain, they need help, they're struggling, but you have to be there to let them know what you can do to help them. They should be familiar and comfortable with you. We're a small company, so they have to know that we've been there, done that, and are pretty reputable in the things that we've done over the years. But you still have to be relevant and timely for those things, and you have to do that through networking and lots of Zoom calls and lots of happy hours and coffees. Finally, now people are coming out of their shells, so it's good to get back to what standard networking techniques there.
Well, and you mentioned just kind of going back to the beginning and even, telling your mom it's hard to explain what you do or what your business is. So, Catalyst to me is a person that causes change or makes change or in a positive way. So how did the name Core Catalyst come about? And how do you explain to people when they see your company name, they might not necessarily immediately go to the business side of things?
No, it's pretty tough there. So, well, first off, when I started the company, I didn't want to name it Wadella Consultants at the time. So, definitely wanted a brand and something that we could build over time. And several of the folks that came out and started the company with me, we brainstormed a lot and talked about it. Well, we're typically working in the core part of a business, so that's where you get the core. A lot of times we are catalysts, as you mentioned. We're causing change to happen, and so we kept coming back to it and saying, "Hey, this is a natural thing to use as far as a name goes," and we continue to use that. Not sure that we're a brand name that every consumer is ever going to know, but a lot of our business clients, of course, will know us from the work we've done, and they will agree that we've implemented change and kind of very execution oriented, and we have been catalysts to get things done. So,
Jim, I believe you attended or accompanied our military affairs committee to the Leavenworth Army base. Is Veteran Affairs, is that a passion of yours, or?
That was phenomenal. That was one of the highlights over the last couple of years of the trip there type thing. So quite fun to see the school out there in Leavenworth. It's a hidden gem for Kansas City area, and the amount of international talent that they bring in and teach, military techniques as well as other leadership type skills is just phenomenal. And so primarily it was kind of a passion for me, but also we have clients that service the military services in some way. Let's see. So one of our clients is an insurance company, and they sell products to the military workforce out there. So I had other interest levels to be there just to get an understanding of how we operate, but also just a passion for, hey, it's based here in Kansas City. Not many people know about it, and it's just phenomenal. So I was able to attend some of the classes and sit in on some things that was very, very refreshing. So.
And we love to hear that, and hopefully the fall of this year we'll be back to visiting those bases or having those visits. So you mentioned that you're 30 plus employees here locally, then a couple of international. Tell me about the international piece of your business.
Yeah, so that's primarily we call it offshore for either development type resources, where most of our team there is based out of India through a subcontract arrangement type thing. And that's where we're defining what the needs are to build something. In this case, there's multiple things that we've built, but where we have pretty good understanding of the client has very high comfort level in us defining what needs to be built, and then we can easily translate those requirements to, a very effective team that can do the development for us in a very cost-effective way. So.
I don't like looking back on 2020. This whole last year was just kind of a mess. But looking forward, did you and your company learn anything that you're going to continue to implement from COVID and from the situations we were in moving forward?
Yeah, good question. I think that I get asked that a lot. I think we pivoted pretty easily. So I used to be with Ernst & Young for many years as a consultant, and so you learn how to travel on the road and work out of coffee shops and airports and bring closets to client locations. And so it's sort of ingrained in me, and a lot of the folks that we've got here have got similar backgrounds. And so for us, it was a pretty easy pivot in terms of working either remote or home office, those type of things. And so that was a pretty straightforward one for us. Clients pivoted pretty quickly. The clients that we do work with, typically pretty good sized companies, and they were able to pivot pretty quickly as well. And then also their comfort level with working with someone they're not seeing and, looking at every day in a conference room or something happened pretty quickly. And so we were able to get through that almost without a hitch necessarily. Some of our folks obviously are working still at client sites where they're allowing them to do it. A lot of them are working from home, and then we have some folks that come into the office periodically when the need happens. So.
Perfect. Well, we at the Chamber, we're still kind of that hybrid mode ourselves, and technology is great when it works, I should say, but technology is a fantastic thing. So it's allowed, for a lot of growth, I think, internally as far as the Chamber goes, and in businesses that we speak with, they're learning how they can adapt and continue to grow with their staff and what works and what doesn't. So.
Yeah. Well, we were, again, as a consulting group with people in different locations, everything, we've always implemented technology where we're sharing our information in common places type of thing. So not on everybody's individual laptop or written on the board or anything like that. And so we've always been accustomed to working in a very virtual manner type of a thing. So I think that benefited us. I don't even think about it anymore, but that's stuff that we started from the get-go from a company standpoint. And literally we can operate pretty easily and remotely and from homes or whatever. And so we built that from scratch and are very comfortable with that. So I forget about that, but that's ingrained in how we've been operating.
Perfect. Well, Jim, it's been fantastic talking to you. We mentioned, I think before we went on camera, that this goes really fast and we have a lot of questions and a lot that we're not going to get to. So, but we always like to end it with the same question to all our guests, and I'll continue that with you. And that question is, what is the one thing you want our audience to know about yourself and about Core Catalyst and how we can help?
Sure. Thank you. So great team, a very strong consulting type backgrounds that are very focused on clients, that enjoy starting and to finish, getting a project done, finishing it, seeing a tangible result come out of it. And so those are the type of people that I've attracted over the years and just enjoy working with every day. It's just a blast when it comes to that standpoint. So we have clients that are very execution oriented, very client focused on getting those things done. A lot of things that we're doing are returning value to the client that's way beyond the fees that we're charging type of thing. So we pride ourselves on that aspect of the business. We have fun with what we're doing. You know, we're not working 100 hours a week and those type of things. We're enjoying what we're doing and keeping appropriately paced with our work-life balance and that type of thing. So fun place to work. People here do have fun. The ones I see or hear or look at a Zoom call or a Teams call or something. So so we do have fun with what we're doing, but we're also pretty serious about getting things accomplished for our clients and take that pretty seriously. So.
Love that. All about having fun and enjoying where you work. It's extremely important. But Jim, on behalf of myself and Shannon and the KC Chamber, thank you for joining us in the Zoom today. Thanks for being an outstanding chamber member, and we look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank you very much. Keep it up, guys. You're a great job.
Thank you.